All right, so we're about to go live on YouTube. So we are live. All right. All right, so it is 2:01. We'll give it another minute before we go ahead and get started. But welcome, everyone. Just give it another couple of seconds. All right. All right. Thank you, everyone, for attending Platoon's graduation and demo day. My name is Tom Preet. I'm the lead instructor here at Platoon. And before we get started, I'd like to take this moment to thank our volunteers, mentors, teaching assistants, and board members who work so hard behind the scenes to make Platoon's Platoon a success. Next, I'd like to give a special thanks to our sponsor companies, DRW, Caesars Digital, Motorola, Granger, and Athlight. These companies have committed to host at least one Platoon graduate for a paid internship after graduation. It is the support of these companies and companies like them that help fill the critical void in our training and launching a career in tech. For those of you who are not familiar with Platoon, we are a nonprofit coding bootcamp with a mission to train veterans and veteran spouses to become professional software developers in our immersive 14-week program. And what you see here this afternoon is the result of the last 2 weeks of these groups applying what they've learned the last 3 months. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first group, codeForward, a micro networking service for coding bootcamp graduates to enhance their network. codeForward, take it away.
Thank you, Tom. And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to codeForward, a micro networking app for bootcamp grads. But before we get to the application, I'd like to introduce the wonderful team that made this possible.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kristen Ruprecht. I'm an Army veteran and Army spouse.
Hello, everybody. I'm Zachary Blackburn, United States Marine Corps veteran.
Hi, I'm Michael Chach, a USMC and Army veteran.
And I'm Seth Thomas, a 9-year Army veteran. We started as a loose collection of students that went through several iterations to deliver what you are about to see today. There's a simple problem that all junior developers face, and that is that the most difficult hurdle they face is getting their first job. And landing a first job that fits their goals and culture is even harder. We aim to make the process of getting that first job easier. Let's take a look at the current IT talent market. Starting with demand, there are 2 key indicators that made us realize we should enter this field and try to make a difference. According to the Manpower Group Talent Survey of 2021, IT talent shortage in the United States is at a 15-year high. That means that 1 in 3 US employers are having difficulty filling jobs. Also, the Bureau of Labor Statistics has identified that from 2020 to 2030, software developer positions will increase 22%. That means we are still at the start of this massive growth, and companies need developers. On the supply side, we have seen a consistent growth of boot camps and bootcamp graduates to meet this demand. There's also been an 11-fold increase from 2013 to 2019 in bootcamp graduates. And more recently, there's been a 306% growth in online boot camps. Currently, at this moment, there are 120 active boot camps in the United States. We aim to connect these graduates with industry professionals. That's where codeForward comes in. Our application is a micro networking service that aims to create a central location where bootcamp students can make sense of the post-grad hustle and industry professionals can help them succeed. So right now, I'd like to hand it over to Michael Chach, who can show us the demo.
Thanks, Seth. Appreciate that. Let's go ahead and start this demo. All right, so I heard about codeForward from somebody in my boot camp, and it's supposed to help me expand my tech network. I've already signed up for an account, so I'm gonna go ahead and log in. It's pretty straightforward. You just put in your username and password, and then you click log in. You can see some information about yourself. I'd already put in, and then I can see top hacker news stories, kind of keep my mind in the game while I'm looking for a job. I can also see pending connections and connection requests. I don't have any yet, but I'll take care of that shortly. First, I want to update my profile. It's easy to do. I just click the update profile, and then I can update some skills or industry experience I might have. I've been working on React, so I'm going to go ahead and update that. Submitting the form is easy, and now that I've done that, I can view my profile and see that I've updated my skills. Now, I really want to connect with some people in this network. Let me go to the Connect tab. Once I've done that, I can see a list of people inside this network. There's a lot of folks, but it looks like I can filter by industry, skills, and also by boot camps. I'm interested in getting into pharmaceuticals, so I pick pharma. And I'd like to meet up with somebody who knows a little bit about React. Edwin looks like a good option. Let me try connecting with him. Now that I've connected with him, if I go to my dashboard, he should be under my pending contacts. And there he is. Meanwhile, when Edwin logs in, he should see me under his connection requests. Now, Edwin doesn't know me yet, so he's probably going to want to look at my profile. Once he's taken a look at my skills and determined that this might be a good connection to have, he can decide to accept. Once he's done that, I now show up in his active connections. Meanwhile, when I log back into my account, I can see that Edwin is one of my active connections. And this is great because now I can direct message Edwin right inside the app. I have a lot of questions about the pharmaceutical industry and also some questions about React. This codeForward website has made it really easy to connect with people and expand my tech network. Well, that ends our demo, and we're really excited to get users into this application. I'm going to pass it off to Zach right now to talk about some of the challenges we had when developing this app.
Thank you, Michael. Now, it would be an understatement to say that there are a multitude of challenges that occur when building an application with a new team, both technical challenges and personal. The first challenge we were presented with was coming to a consensus on the scope of codeForward that we could reach in a short timeline, deciding what capabilities are must-haves and what could be put into our stretch goals. Deciding how we would structure our database was a challenge as well. And we took the necessary time as a team to build our models with scaling capabilities. At the beginning of this project, we also struggled with Git workflows. However, we've now worked together to harness the power of Git for version control, making the process of building codeForward through collaboration much easier. Upon deciding functionality and database structure and getting a good grasp on Git, we began to find friction in implementing complex functionalities such as connections, live chat, filtering, and profile customization. And beyond technical challenges, we worked around shifting schedules as a team member's children began school from home due to COVID. A team member had a rough COVID infection, and another team member even got a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to travel to LA for work. All of this forcing us to be incredibly flexible with our schedules to get our project completed on time. Despite working completely remote, we were able to overcome these challenges by taking advantage of team member strengths, a few long nights of pair programming, and most importantly, having the confidence to ask for help when deemed necessary. We ultimately learned how to operate smoothly as a team while implementing a multitude of technologies when developing codeForward. Now I'm going to hand it over to Kristen to discuss a few of these technologies.
Thank you, Zach. So for the backend, we use the Python-based framework Django to interact with application data stored in our SQLite database. Django REST framework serialized that data, which set up CRUD operations. User login was accomplished using JSON Web Token authentication. We use React in our front end to create our user interface. Through API calls to the backend, React allows users to manipulate the database as they are interacting with our site. We integrated 2 third-party APIs to enhance our app. Talk.js is the chat API we implemented to give users the ability to message each other within the app. Hacker News API brought in top stories from the world of computer science straight to the user's dashboard. For version control and storage of our code, we use GitHub, and Postman was used to test out our API endpoints and helped with troubleshooting. For styling, we use Pure CSS and components from React Bootstrap and material design for Bootstrap. A few tools that made collaborating remotely a lot easier was Trello for keeping everyone on task, Mural Board for helping us create a unified vision for the app, and Balsamiq for turning our ideas into wireframes. Finally, the team was able to maintain real-time communication using Slack and Zoom. Next, I'd like to hand it back to Seth, who's going to talk about our stretch goals.
Thank you, Kristen. So Zach briefly mentioned scope and the challenges that this team faced. When building an application, we always have to be realistic with our expectations, and there's always more work to do. This leads us to two areas we want to focus on for future releases: functionality and login. On the functionality side, we wanted to add two different things. The first thing being video chat functionality by integrating Twilio into our embedded into our application. We think that this could probably increase the connection quality between our users. We also wanted to add Google Calendar integration so people can know when they were free to actually meet up. The second big thing we wanted to make a little bit easier was the login process for the users. So we would like to include LinkedIn API and Google API so people can bring their other profiles with them from other social networks. Unfortunately, we just didn't have the time to include these, but make sure to keep an eye out for future releases. So thank you everybody for your time today and for checking out our application. Feel free to reach out to us and connect on LinkedIn. Thank you.
Awesome job, codeForward. Great app. So next, I'd like to introduce our next group, SecureAid, an app that will help connect our Afghan allies to resources in a secure and trustworthy way. SecureAid, take it away.
Hey, thank you, Tom. So, as most people know, there is a huge humanitarian crisis going on in Afghanistan. Our team wanted to create a product that would be able to help those people in need. Before we talk about the app, though, let's meet our team. I'm Morgan Morris. I'm a 16-year veteran of the Air Force. My colleague, Duncan Watson, served 3 years in the Army. Kevin McGee spent 16 years in the Navy. And Mike Robertson spent 13 years in the Air Force. We also had two other folks that helped us out and were very instrumental in completing this project who are not here today. Umar Badami and Matt Robinson were amazing help on this. Okay, so as we talk about what SecureAid is, what is the actual problem? What is the issue that's going on that we're trying to solve? So there are tons of people in Afghanistan that are in need of money, supply, legal assistance, things like that. And there's a barrier of communication for a lot of people. So what we wanted to do was connect those Afghans in need with aid organizations that can support them. We also, in doing this, wanted to be able to make sure that they can communicate clearly and securely, and then get status updates on the aid that they requested. The current way of doing things presents a lot of problems. Oftentimes, there are multiple requests for aid made for a single individual. This adds confusion and delays, costing time and money. Sending money right now is very difficult because of laws that are in place. There's no way to track the status of requests, and cases are often dropped with no notice. So it may be months before a person finds out that the aid that they requested was denied. We came along with SecureAid, and the things that we were able to change and fix are that we now have a consolidated database that deletes any duplicate entries. The money in aid is routed through already established aid organizations, which means that the time from request to delivery is cut down significantly. We're able to track every step of the request along the process, which gives peace of mind for the Afghan in need. And the secure communication that we've provided increases safety and the trust between the Afghan, the veteran, and the aid organization. Up next, Duncan is going to be walking us through the application. Duncan.
Thank you so much, Morgan. So, as Morgan stated, the entire point of SecureAid is predicated on a veteran getting the entire process started. So today we're going to follow Tamara Ellis as she walks us through the process of establishing connections between allies and aid organizations. So utilizing the va.gov website, we're going to use the ID Me functionality to confirm veteran status. And once that is confirmed, we'll be redirected to her dashboard. So on the dashboard, it's going to show active tickets that she submitted for various aid recipients that she works with, as well as the ability to create a magic link to pull in other allies to secure aid. So today, she's going to be setting up an account for Tom, an interpreter that she's worked with on a few occasions. And she's going to generate a one-time password that will allow him to log in and verify his account. So once she copies that clipboard, she'll send it over to Tom. He will use the link. And using that one-time password, he will verify his account. Now, we have it set currently to, I believe, five chances to get that password right. Always make sure you double check. And once he establishes his new password, he will have access to his dashboard. So going back to tomorrow, she is now able to submit a ticket for Tom. So she will first enter a title. Looks like Tom's in need of some financial assistance. She'll select the appropriate category, need by date, and then she's going to enter a few more details to give the aid providers in the area a little more context on what kind of help Tom is needing. So after that, she'll scroll down to the aid recipients, select the appropriate person, and save it. Now we're going to check in on the actual organizational side. So the dashboard for an organization are active tickets and available tickets. So Afghan Aid Organization has been working with Kevin, and utilizing the chat function to make sure that he can secure insulin for his daughter. And good news, they were able to secure it and deliver it to him. So after they discuss the delivery, I'll go ahead and send that. And then they'll mark the ticket as complete, which removes it from the dashboard and is stored on our database. So now going through the next process, it's very simple for aid organizations to claim a ticket. They can go through, see where they can help, identify the problem, claim the ticket, and get chat started. So what if you aren't a veteran? Well, our website offers information on the current humanitarian crisis in Afghanistan, as well as links to various organizations in the area providing aid. So the best thing you can do for the time being, find ways to get involved and donate. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Kevin McGee, who's going to explain the technologies we used for this project.
Thank you, Duncan, for that fantastic demo. The material we learned throughout the Platoon bootcamp was essential to building our full stack application. We used a modular approach to build the backend by separating different areas of concern into independent services, which allowed us to experiment with using two REST frameworks in the same project. Use Django REST framework to build the ticket CRUD operations and Django Ninja for the three-tiered user authentication API. Additionally, we challenged ourselves and built the chat using Django channels, which allowed us to better understand how WebSockets communicate and confidence that a third-party API wouldn't store user chat messages in their database. Redis was required as a broker to dispatch chat messages, so we deployed an instance of Redis inside a Docker container. This improved our workflow by ensuring we're working with the same version of Redis independent of operating system and took away the need for everyone to install Redis individually during the development process. Another workflow optimization was Elephant SQL, a Postgres as a service platform, to work from a centralized Postgres database. Lastly, a key feature was the need to authenticate and confirm the status for veteran users. To simplify the process, we utilized the va.gov's OAuth code flow and veteran verification API to provide a single sign-on method and a secure way to confirm a veteran status without needing any personal identifiable information. Finally, I'll pass this off to Mike and he'll tell you a bit about the challenges we face as well as the future of secure AIDS development.
Thanks, Kevin, for that great rundown of all the technologies we utilized. I'll go over some of the quick challenges and obstacles we faced. First and most prevalent was the authentication. We had 3 different types of users, and as a result, we had to authenticate them in 3 different ways and facilitate their login. We thought at first that we had an API that would aid us in facilitating all of this, but due to extensive and vague API docs, we did a lot of work only to find out much later that that API was not going to function the way that we wanted it to. We had to start from scratch. Additionally, the security and safety of the Afghan aid recipients was paramount. So we wanted to make sure that the data information was only accessible to those that it was relevant to and wasn't accessible to all users on the application. We also had to learn and implement real-time chat capabilities by learning how to utilize WebSockets. And lastly, as always, remote collaboration using Git, merging files from different users, and collaborating over multiple time zones when people are on different schedules had its own challenges, as you can expect. Next, I'll be talking about the future of secure aid. Going forward, we're looking to continue to engage with charities to ensure that secure aid meets their needs and is an application that they can utilize. Also, we're trying to find opportunities for non-veterans to contribute to the cause of the dire situation in Afghanistan. Lastly, we're looking to add some functionality. Hopefully, we can update and provide a provider-to-provider form so that the providers can be in contact with each other and get aid delivered and integrate with each other. Also, looking to include video chat functionality and further facilitate the delivery of the aid. That's the conclusion or a briefing and demonstration for secure aid. Please reach out to us, connect with us on LinkedIn. Thank you for your attention today.
Awesome. Great job, Secure Aid. Such a noble application for a great cause. Next, I'd like to introduce our next group, Wandrr, a fantastic location-based application that helps me discover interesting places around me. Wandrr, take it away.
Thanks, Tom. Hello, everyone, and welcome on behalf of our team. And thank you for attending today. We are Wandrr, the web app where history finds you. Before we introduce you to the app itself, we'd like to introduce ourselves. I am Marianne Walton, an Army spouse.
I'm Yaping Liu, an Army spouse as well.
I'm Susan Steffen, and I'm a Navy spouse. And I'll introduce our teammate who unfortunately couldn't be here today, Ty Kavanaugh, a 6-year Navy veteran. When traveling, we found that our options for learning about the place we're touring were limited to organized guided tours or overcrowded and sometimes expensive tourist sites. We also discovered how easy it is to pass up interesting historic sites just because they're not marked or well known. Our app is designed for people who love travel and history and want a fast, simple way to see the hidden places that surround them. This quote from Henry Rollins, former frontman of the band Black Flag, resonated with us, and we hope with our users of our app as well. I hit the streets every day with no real plan besides walking and seeing what happens or taking a taxi across town and finding my way back. Wandrr seeks to show more than just sterile tourist attractions, to reveal the real history of significant but forgotten places. Take this unassuming parking lot in Ty's hometown, for example. With Wandrr, we can open a window to the past of this empty space in a strip mall between an electronics store and a tiki bar. This site was once the home of a legendary punk bar that even hosted a Black Flag concert during its tenure. The Cuckoo's Nest became infamous not only for its live music, but for its patrons' parking lot brawls with those from Zuby's, a long-gone country bar next door. Other travel and map apps list a location's most popular sites first, which makes sense because that's what many tourists are searching for. However, this also requires the user to dig a little in order to find those hidden gems. They also didn't offer an easy way to save locations and articles for future reference. Articles tended to cover a smaller, slightly academic variety of topics. In addition, we found maps that were filled with general information like restaurants, which, while useful, made it harder to find exactly what we're looking for. When we built our app, we wanted to display more varied points of interest than the typical ones you might find elsewhere. Wikipedia offered us a wealth of information that couldn't be easily found from other sources. We also wanted users to be able to save articles to reference later and to be able to categorize them for trip planning purposes. Our map highlights only the information relevant to the purpose of our app, making it simpler for the user to see what they're looking for. Now let's see Wandrr in action with Yaping.
Thank you, Susan. A standard user of our app would be a traveler who likes to explore the hidden places around him without paying to a guided tour. We'll walk through of our Wandrr app from perspective of a new traveler named Lily, who will be driving from Southern California to the Bay Area. So I'll be Lily. Hi, I'm Lily. I heard about a wonderful app named Wandrr from my friend. Let's check it out. Cool, I love the different colors of the clusters on the map, and I'm gonna register as a new user Lily first. After sign up, it takes me to the home page. I guess it'll take me to the map, clicking this button. There's a show style options button up here, and I'm wondering what does that do? Cool, it shows me the different map styles. I like the light style, so I'll use that one for now. Let's say I want to explore the area in Auckland. So when I put the name in the search bar, it automatically takes me to the area I'm looking for. You can see lots of items in San Francisco cached from previous users' explorations here, but clustered efficiently, so my browser stays fast. I can click a place I just discovered and view the summary of the place. From here, I can open a new Wikipedia page and read the story about it. I can bookmark this place too. This island looks nice, doesn't it? I definitely want to visit. So I'm gonna bookmark it. Wow, this place is amazing. But wait, how can I drive to the middle of the ocean? Now I can go to my current location by clicking here and look at places along the way. Here is where I am on the beach right now. And here's where the Cuckoo's Nest strip mall. And I heard that it's once a nightclub, so I'll bookmark it and read about its history later. There's also a beautiful beach nearby called Huntington State Beach where I want to visit, so I'll save this too. When I go to the bookmarks, I can check all of the items I just saved. I can delete the item that doesn't seem very interesting. If I want, I can also create lists and add my bookmarks into different lists. I'm creating a list based on location name here, Lily's California trip. And then go to my bookmarks. And from here, I can add these items into my list by simply clicking. And now I'm supposed to see them under my California trip list. Next, I'm going to talk about the technologies we used. For front end, we use React and Bootstrap to build our user interface and style the components. For backend, we use PostgreSQL as our database, Django along with Django REST framework to provide interface to our server. There's a framework called Swagger that we use to create documentation for our API. It includes information on how to define paths, parameters, responses, and more. We also use GDAL. GDAL is a library of tools used for manipulating geospatial data. It's used for our database dealing on how to store the points and how to display clusters at the front end efficiently. The main API we used are MedianWiki and Mapbox. MedianWiki is the API of Wikipedia, and it's used to search wiki pages near location. For Mapbox, we mainly use its map service and search service to render our app and let users search the points of interest. Now, Mary is going to talk about the challenges and the stretch goals.
Thank you, Yaping. With Wikipedia having such a large library of data, we had the challenge of what to save to our backend database and how. And in the end, we came up with a solution that allows a saved record of data points that have been explored already to allow for a quick recall in the front end. Also, we had several challenges as we integrated the data with the various map features. A specific example is that map and database features Postgres could not handle required GDAL to work. This in turn created difficulties to work through when deploying on our different operating systems and to Heroku. Finally, we had some logistical obstacles. With half of the team on the West Coast and half on the East Coast, paired with illnesses and other life events, it could be hard to all meet together at the same time. But we made this work still through our Slack channel, Zoom, and the use of Trello, a project management website. Wandrr is fun to explore and informative, but there are still some stretch goals that we have for the app. First and foremost, mobile capabilities. Wandrr would be especially useful and inspiring to the user when walking around outside and standing among the locations they are reading about. And next, while the app does have the ability to create public bookmark lists to share with others, we envision more user interactivity. For instance, the ability for different users to rate where they've been, discuss a topic on a forum, or even submit their own historical trivia regarding a location. Lastly, we would like to incorporate historical pictures and videos for the users who would prefer to learn visually. This concludes our Wandrr presentation. Feel free to check out our app at that link and contact us at the information on our side.
Awesome. Great job, Wandrr. I can't wait to check out your application at Heroku. Next, I'd like to introduce our next group, the Daily Planter. If gardening is a new hobby for you, or if you're already an expert, the Daily Planter will help you become a great gardener. The Daily Planter, take it away.
All right, thanks, Tom. Now, I'd like to introduce the team behind the Daily Planter. I'm James Kelsey, and I've been fixing planes for the Navy for 20 years.
Hi, I'm Stephen Carroll. I'm an 5-year Air Force veteran.
I'm Daniel. I'm one of the TAs here at Platoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Brian Slusher, a 10-year Army veteran and an avid home gardener. I have a question for you all. Have you ever thought that you had a black thumb for gardening? Do you think that any old dirt will produce amazing plants? When you do get your plants to grow, are the results pitiful and unimpressive? If your answer to any of these is yes, then look no further than the Daily Planter. We know that starting a garden is a daunting task that can be intimidating to the novice gardener. Our application aims at getting you past that I want to grow something phase and into the I've got an awesome harvest phase. With easy to follow instructions and reminders of important dates, such as when you planted and when you last fertilized, we even have alerts to when your plants need to be protected from the cold. Aimed at both the novice and the experienced gardener alike, the Daily Planter truly is gardening made easy. I will now pass it on to Daniel, who will go over the application demo.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. So let's say I've been trying to grow broccoli in a small plot out back, but it just hasn't been working out for me. Our website could help with that. Here I just signed up, and it looks like I'll need to add the data for my plot, so I can head over to create a plot here in the sidebar, fill in a location, and what I want to plant. And I can type in the size of my plot. And here it's come up with a helpful diagram that shows how to arrange the plants in the plot, as well as how many plants I could fit here in total. I go ahead and click save, and it shows me a page with tons of information about my crops, like when they were planted, the last time they were fertilized, and even when they'll be ready to harvest. I also see how much water the plot will need over the course of a week. Down here, there's a section for test data, where it looks like the results of various different soil tests can be recorded. I want to make sure that the soil is good quality for my crops, so I can click Record New Test Data. Even if I've never done a soil test before, I can read through this tutorial, where it shows step-by-step instructions on how to take a soil sample, as well as how to determine how much clay, silt, and sand the soil contains. Once I've gone through all the steps, I can enter the results of the test on this form, and I can see the soil type calculated in real time here on this chart. It looks like my soil type is sandy clay loam. Now that I've added all the data for my plot, I can see it here on the dashboard. It shows up with the name, size, and the last time it was fertilized. On the side here, I also see a list of weather alerts for the coming week. Right now, it looks like it's warning of a hard freeze in this area, so I should probably make plans to keep my crops safe from the cold. Say I noticed there was damage to my crops, and I was wondering if it was some kind of pest. I'd go over here to pest search and look up the name of whatever pest I think might be causing the issue. I can see images of what kind of damage the pest would cause and what the pest looks like. If this is the pest that's causing damage, I can also read a quick description here of how to get rid of it. Here on the plant search page, I can view more in-depth data about the plants that I have in my garden. I was planting broccoli, so I can click here and see a description of the plant, as well as some common names, Latin names, and how to get started planting it. That's all for our product demo. Now I'll turn it over to James, who can tell you a little more about what we used to build this project.
Wonderful. Thanks, Daniel. Now, for this project, we used a little bit of technology and a little bit of good old-fashioned elbow grease. We are farming, after all. We were able to use the Open Farm community-built database for information about crops, icons, and images of the plants. We combined that with the data we manually retrieved from the US Department of Agriculture and plant vendors to build up our own database. In addition, we used ARC geographical information systems online to build address search and geolocation to provide weather data from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. The real challenge that we had came from our initial screening of available information. We struggled to find easy to access data, and in the end had to rely on building our own database. Once we had the data, presenting it in easy to use format caused quite a headache. As it turns out, gardeners don't record their findings in a convenient database. They tend to blog or write stories about it instead. We had a resource in mind that turned out to be extremely expensive. We could use the site manually, but to access it from our site cost $10,000 a year. So a good portion of our development time was doing research and filling in the blanks in our own data. Lastly, as it turns out, testing soil is a hands-on activity. Translating it into a digital form and making it easy to follow was one of our key concerns. Brian did a great job putting our guide together. When a user completes the test, the USDA gives them this slide, this chart. We didn't want to do that and then say, now do math, trick you. So we were able to put our heads together with Daniel leading the way and create an automatic version of this chart that highlights the type of soil the user has, which you saw during the demo, and we're very proud of. With that, I'll hand you off to Stephen to talk about our stretch goals.
Thanks, James. I will now be going over the items that we would want to work on going forward. The first item would be improving the user experience for a newly created user. The second item would be the ability to refine data per plant type in 4 specific areas. Area 1 is when exactly to plant. Area 2 is when to test the soil. Area 3 is when to add or not add nitrogen, potassium, and fertilizer. And the final area would be when a plant needs to be harvested. The third item is the ability to keep track of how much water a plot has or still needs. This would include rainwater as well. And the fourth and final item would be the ability to add any crop in the inventory of crops from the Open Farm API. Thank you. That concludes our presentation. Feel free to contact us through email or LinkedIn.
Awesome. Great job, the Daily Planter. I know what app I'll be using this spring when we create our garden in our backyard. Next, I'd like to introduce our 5th group, Chore Store. If you're having trouble incentivizing your children to get their chores done and teaching them work ethic, Chore Store will be able to assist. Chore Store, take it away.
Thank you, Tom. Welcome, fellow students, instructors, and guests to our co-platoon graduation. We would like to introduce you to Chore Store, chore management made simple. My name is Tani Delava. I'm a military spouse, and we're stationed in Virginia Beach.
I'm Kana Penke. I'm an Air Force veteran and spouse stationed in Norway. My name is Jason Dopa. I served in the U.S. Navy. I'm in Houston, Texas.
My name is Jonathan Zayan. I'm an Army veteran, and I'm in El Paso, Texas.
My name is Michael Kroger. I'm also an Army veteran, and I'm currently located in Rochester, New York. And now Tanya will lead us off with our application overview.
Thank you, Michael. Over the years, I have tried different ways to manage my kids' chores. Recently, I tried a chore app that allowed you to assign chores and allowance value to each chore. The concept was great, but I quickly realized the user interface was confusing and cluttered. To address this problem, we decided to create Chore Store. Chore Store is a solution that engages and encourages kids to complete chores independently with a child-friendly interface. This app is for families with school-age children. And now I will hand it off to Kana to demo the application.
Thanks, Tanya. My mom friend Tanya just told me about this new website that helps organize family chores called Chore Store. I'm going to go check it out. Oh, here are some benefits and a few testimonials from other parents. Let's sign in. Tanya said I can just use my Google login with one click. There are my girls, Jackie and Amy. Let's pretend I'm Jackie and see what she sees. Here's my list of chores and what I can earn with each one. When I get done vacuuming, I can check the box and my balance updates. I'm also done doing the dishes for the day. Now, back as a mom, let me go to my parent dashboard. I need to enter my 4-digit PIN, and here I can quickly and easily see what chores each child has completed and which ones are still outstanding. Oh, look, Jackie has finished vacuuming and doing the dishes. Her current balance is $3. Let's go to the kitchen and nope, the dishes are only half done. I'm going to uncheck the do the dishes button because it's not early done. This is reflected in her balance as well as on her child dashboard. Let's assume she finishes the dishes before allowance time. Now, come allowance time, I can hand Jackie her $3, then click the payout button. All the completed chores move back to being unassigned as well as uncompleted. Jackie's balance is reset back to 0. I'd like to add a new chore. I can come up here and click on the Add Chore button. Here, I'll add Set the Table. And give it a value of $1. My son Jake has asked to join the chore fun. I'm going to add him using the Add Child button. He's a big fan of monkeys, so I'll give him the monkey avatar. To assign chores, I'll simply drag and drop the chore onto each child's card. And there you have it, a simple and effective way to manage your family's chores. Now, I'd like to hand it off to Jason to talk about the technologies we used.
Thanks, Kana. Code Platoon was vital for us to have the base of knowledge that we needed to take on this task. For our backend API, we used Django REST framework. This is what allowed us to set up our Postgres database schema and perform CRUD operations. We used Heroku to deploy our backend so that we would all be working with the same database. For our front end, we used React.js with Bootstrap for styling. This allowed us to easily make our web pages dynamic and to react to changes that occur in the backend immediately. For our login feature and authentication, we use Firebase with Google's login API. That way a user could start using the app without having to create an account first. Upon logging into their Google account, a unique key would be generated that would help us to identify which parent had logged in. Our front end was used to handle this key so that when a parent logged out, their credentials were removed. And now Jonathan will talk about the challenges that we faced.
So while creating Chore Store, we did run into some challenges. This included Git, our workflow, incorporating new libraries, and life events. Now with Git, we were proficient at an individual level, and we had to learn how to work as a team. So we did online research, and we decided to use branching effectively to avoid any sort of issues like merge conflicts. With our workflow, after our initial planning phase, we had to divvy up the task. So we used open communication, we discussed our strengths and our weaknesses to divide tasks appropriately. With new libraries, we used beautiful D&D, which allowed us to use our drag and drop feature, but we ran into some trouble. So we used mob coding to share our perspectives and help each other implement it properly. And then of course there's life events. Some of us were sick, we even had a flood. But what we did is we had open communication, we expressed our changing availability, and this allowed some of our people to step up and take on additional tasks. So yeah, we went into challenges, but we worked together, we had open communication, we had our eagerness to learn, and this allowed us to be a stronger team. And here's Mike, he's going to tell us about our stretch goals.
Thank you, Jonathan. Currently, our team has identified 6 stretch goals for further development in the Chore Store app. First, we would like to incorporate a wish list for each child account. This will give kids the ability to identify toys or other items they want. In turn, the app will allow them to see what they are working toward and observe their balance in relation to the wish list price. Secondly is the implementation of functionality that will allow additional detailed instructions for any chore that may require more complex directions or additional specificity to enable completion. Next would be an option to allow kids to choose their own chores from a list of community tasks. These tasks would be available with assigned dollar amounts, and a child can claim any uncompleted chore for their own list. Another of our goals is, in the future, we would like to incorporate an ability to support multiple parents on a single family account, giving each parent the ability to assign and monitor chore tasks independently of one another. Our 5th stretch goal is to wire in a third-party joke API that we've identified. From a functional standpoint, this would allow us to reward the completion of each chore with a joke in addition to the financial compensation. And the last of our future plans would be to create a capability to block Wi-Fi access until chore lists are finished. We feel this would be a good way to encourage kids and also help maintain focus until work is completed. And now we would like to thank you all for taking the time to view our Chore Store presentation. And we would love to hear from you.
Awesome. Great job, Chore Store. Awesome app. Love that UI. All right. Lastly, I'd like to introduce our final group, FoodByte. Have you ever had a taste for a specific food dish, but don't know what restaurant has the best dish you're craving? Then FoodByte is for you. FoodByte, take it away.
Thank you, Tom. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. As you know, our group built the web application FoodByte. But before we get into the app, I'd like you to meet our team. My name is Brandon, and I'm a 6-year Air Force veteran.
My name is Jordan Smith, and I'm a 4-year Coast Guard veteran.
I'm Dan Miller, and I'm a 4-year Army National Guard veteran.
My name is Sean Furlong, and I'm a 6-year Air Force veteran.
And my name is Guillermo Aguilar, and I'm an 11-year Army National Guard veteran. So the idea for FoodByte came from our inability to search for the best steak taco in our area without having to perform multiple Google searches. Everything on the internet right now allows you to search by restaurant, but that's not really what we were looking for. We wanted a quick way to search by menu item, and we wanted to search to return the best steak taco in our area based on user reviews. So what is FoodByte? FoodByte is a web app for anyone looking to find their next delicious meal. It allows you to find the highest rated food item of your choosing wherever it is that you might live. Our app also allows you to leave a review of what you just ate so you can tell the world if that food item lived up to the hype. So what makes FoodByte different than other apps on the internet right now? These are our 4 main differentiators. The first one is the ability to search by food item instead of restaurant. When you go out to eat, you don't eat the entire menu, you just eat one item. So that's what I'm looking for. Our app also returns the top 10 rated food items first. So if you search for taco, it's going to give you the top 10 tacos within your area. Our app also allows you to save food items to your favorites in your user profile so you can go check them out later. And finally, our app allows you to earn rewards by writing reviews. And now Brandon is actually going to demonstrate our app.
Thank you, Guillermo. Let's get into the app. I'm in the mood for some pizza, so I'm going to log into FoodByte. Now that I've made it to the home page, I'm going to enter my zip code and search for some pizza. I've got my results now, and these pizzas are looking pretty good. I can see how other FoodByte users have ranked them. This eggplant pizza made it to the top 10. I'm going to add it to my favorites to check out later. All of these images I'm seeing have been uploaded by other FoodByte users when they review that dish. Now I want to leave a review about a pizza I had the other day. First, I want to see what others have said about this dish. I can see that some of the other users are super reviewers. Hopefully I can reach that rank soon and get free gift cards for my favorite place. Now on the restaurant. FoodByte shows me its Yelp rating and also where it is located on the map below. I think I'm ready to make my review now. If I'm being honest, I wasn't a huge fan of it. I'm going to give it a rating of 2. Here, I'll upload a photo of my pizza to earn extra points as well. Now I will share my thoughts about the dish. I thought it was a little too saucy for my taste. As I am writing my review, FoodByte is using Azure Sentiment Analysis to give me feedback on how my review may be perceived by other users. After submitting my review, I can see that it impacted the ranking of the dish immediately. Now I want to check out my profile. I can see that I'm still a rookie and I've almost reached the next rewards tier. Here I can see all of the favorites I have saved before to assist in making a final decision. I changed my mind about the eggplant pizza. I think I'll remove that one for now. Here I can see where all of my favorite dishes are located on my map. I remember this one. It was close by. This was good too. Maybe I'll check that one out later today. And finally, here is a list of all the reviews I've made in the past so I can refresh my memory on what I liked and didn't like. I feel like I made a good decision using FoodByte to find my next meal today. This concludes our demonstration of the app. Now I'd like to hand it over to Jordan to talk about the tech stack and challenges we faced.
Thanks, Brandon. All right, now let's talk about the tech stack. For the back end, we use Python Django REST framework and PostgreSQL. For the front end, we used React and Material UI. We also implemented 5 third-party APIs, OpenMenu, Google Maps, Yelp, Azure Sentiment Analysis, and Cloudinary. We also deployed the application on AWS Elastic Beanstalk. Some of the challenges we faced were collaborating as a team to create a vision for our app, version control with Git and GitHub, the main API going down halfway through the project's deadline, control flow, and organization of our app, and deploying our app to AWS. Our biggest challenge was when the original API that we were using to pull restaurant and menu item data went down. We had to switch to a less thorough and dynamic API, which forced us to refactor most of the code for the main components of our app. This also forced us to incorporate Yelp API to obtain all of the necessary data for our app. Now I'd like to hand it off to Daniel to talk about our workflow.
Thank you, Jordan. So every day began with a daily stand-up where we would look over the Trello board, update tasks, discuss roadblocks and goals for the day, then assign work. Lastly, before splitting off, we would confirm all GitHub branches were merged without conflict, and everyone would pull down the main branch to ensure our code was running properly on our local machines. Throughout the day, we worked mostly in pairs, switching partners and tasks to ensure everyone had eyes on all parts of the program. We stayed in constant communication through Zoom and Slack to discuss any issues that arose throughout the day. We would end the day with a stand down to go over what was completed and what wasn't. Again, going over roadblocks, what our goals would be for the next day, and updating the Trello board accordingly. Finally, everyone would once again push up their branches and we would merge together to ensure no conflicts. I will now hand it up to Sean to tell you about the future of FoodByte.
Thanks, Daniel. So the future of this app will focus on the expansion of our core functionalities as well as the overall user experience. These expansions will come as we expand in scale and get a stronger FoodByte community established. We're looking to add a social media type chat feature, which will allow users to submit feedback to other users in real time and make spontaneous decisions. We'll also look to implement this into our reward system, offering loyal users special access to parties hosted by FoodByte who might share a common interest. We'll also look upon to expand our search functionality by being able to search by a certain food category or to be able to search by specific user preferences. As the community grows, we look to expand it in a more social media type atmosphere. We want users to be able to view other users' pages as well as see their user uploaded photos that were taken. Speaking of these pictures, FoodByte's ultimate goal is to bring a fast, responsive assessment of food around the local area for the user with these uploaded photos. We look to have a complete photo menu within the app at some time. With a solid foundation, we can easily transfer this to a mobile or a tablet environment. I want to thank everybody for listening to our app. We had a lot of fun making it, and thank you for your time today.
Awesome. Thank you so much, FoodByte. All right. Great job, everyone, and fantastic applications and demos. In just 2.5 weeks, you built these amazing applications, and I can't wait to see what you all are able to accomplish in the future. I'm truly grateful to teach you all as my last full-time cohort. Let me just go ahead and share my screen one last time. All right. As mentioned before, my name is Tom Preet, the lead instructor here at Platoon, and I'm accompanied by my incredible instructor colleague, Ankur Shah. I'd also like to thank our amazing TA interns, Umar Badami, Matthew Robinson, Daniel Agarwal, and Stephen Ortiz. Your outstanding support the last 3 months has made Platoon, Papa Platoon, a success, and Ankur and I can't thank you enough. Next, I'd like to hand it off to Papa Platoon's class president, Seth Thomas.
Thanks, Tom. Hey, everybody. My name is Seth Thomas, and I am Papa Platoon's class president. Just as a point of clarification, class president implies that there was some type of election process that was involved here, but that is definitely not the case. I was appointed by Rod in the early days of the course, along with Jonathan Zion as the social chair. While John has worked hard organizing our wonderful social events, I've really just kind of stayed in the background until I was brought forward as a pretty face for this. Platoon follows the military tradition of rigorous training. Demanding instructors like Tom and Ankur got us out of our comfort zone with assessments and lectures that challenged us. Sometimes these challenges were mental, with deliveries of harsh career truths by John. Other times they were even physical, with pangs of hunger when Ankur made us work through lunch. All of these, though, were with the intent of preparing us for a demanding new career. We had some amazing people with us throughout the program. Who can forget learning that Umar, one of our teacher's assistants, was basically a child prodigy, a QuarkNet research intern, Princeton plasma physics research intern, and a very recent graduate of Stanford Online High School. Seriously, he just graduated from high school, and he's an inspiration to us all. Where does Platoon find these people? That's the quality of the TAs that Platoon brought to us. There are so many more things to say, but I really want to focus it back on my fellow students that span across the Americas, Europe, and Asia. A few days ago, I asked for their input on some class distinctions that we should give out. And by popular choice, here they are now. So the first title is Most Likely to Create the Next Facebook. And of course, our child prodigy, Umar, was definitely the #1 person on that one. But it was very close because we also have to mention Kevin McGee. Honestly, he's a genius and had the coolest special effects as well, in my opinion, for his Zoom backgrounds. We also have Most Likely to Rule the Metaverse. And hands down, that was Jordan Smith. Best voice also came down to 2 people. That was Michael Chach with his absolutely professional setup and professional microphone, and Jason. Now, this next award, least seen on camera, has to have a little bit of context because everybody understands that this program was almost entirely remote and people had to deal with COVID, with family, hopping into the camera. So the award does definitely go to Adam, but definitely realize that there were some challenges out there and we really didn't want to see everything that was going on the screen. So appreciate that. The second runner up to that was definitely my mustache that I had for about a week. And thanks for voting on that. Most Likely to Hack the Government. That was Kevin McGee and Ty. And also my favorite one to announce is going to be Class Clown. Like I said, again, this was a remote program, and keeping things light and actually motivating everybody along. That was a huge responsibility. And the honor of that falls on two people. That's Zach Blackburn and Duncan Watson. So thank you both. Finally, I would like to say that I have enjoyed every day with this cohort. We all expected that a sense of camaraderie would exist in this cohort because we all had military affiliation. We had no idea how deep that camaraderie would run though. Even though we span multiple continents, I never felt like we were alone. We always had somebody that we could reach out to and rely on, whether that was an instructor, a TA, or a fellow student. So congratulations to Papa Platoon. It has been an honor learning with you over the past 4 months, and I am excited to see all of the great things that you can accomplish as you start your journeys as full stack developers. Back to you, Tom. You guys rock.
Thank you so much, Seth. Greatly appreciate you taking the lead as class president. Yeah, couldn't do it any better. All right, now for our closing ceremonies. Congratulations, Adam McDonald.
Congratulations, Brian Slusher.
Congratulations, Daniel Miller.
Congratulations, Duncan Watson.
Congratulations, Guillermo Aguilar.
Congratulations, James Kelsey.
Congratulations, Jason Idopa.
Congratulations, Jonathan Ray.
Congratulations, Jonathan Zion.
Congratulations, Jordan Smith.
Congratulations, Kana Pankey.
Congratulations, Kevin McGee.
Congratulations, Kristen Ruprecht.
Congratulations, Lily Teeters.
Congratulations, Mary Ann Walton.
Congratulations, Michael Chach.
Congratulations, Michael Kroger.
Congratulations, Michael Robertson.
Congratulations, Morgan Morris.
Congratulations, Scott Rustedhaven.
Congratulations, Sean Furlong.
Congratulations, Seth Thomas.
Congratulations, Stephen Carroll.
Congratulations, Susan Stephen.
Congratulations, Tanya Dalaba.
Congratulations, Tynan Kavanaugh.
Congratulations, William Watson.
Congratulations, Yaping Liu.
And lastly, congratulations, Zachary Blackburn. Next, I'd like to hand it off to Ankur.
Thank you, Tom. Papa Platoon, it's been great. You thought you can get away without a long lecture from me? Don't think so. But all jokes aside, I'll try to keep this short. Just want to say congratulations to all of you. You guys did it. You guys put in the hard work. You guys put in the long hours. Obviously, Co-Platoon was here to help you, but again, you achieved this. You got yourself here. You guys motivated each other. You guys persevered. I mean, this was not an easy journey at times, but I never heard from any of you guys say that I can't do this. You guys show a level of professionalism and determination that is to be marveled at. So again, well done here. I just want to say, as cliched as it sounds, obviously this isn't the end. This is just the beginning for your for your software development careers. So lastly, I just want to say thank you for your service, of course, and congratulations. Additionally, I want to thank the Co-Platoon staff, leadership, operations, marketing for finding us such wonderful students. You guys have been great. Again, thank you to our interns. Again, as Tom said, we couldn't have done this without you. Also, additionally, as Tom mentioned, our volunteers. So we have mentors, resume coaches, guest speakers, volunteer TAs, mock interviewers. Again, thank you so much for devoting your time and helping our students succeed here. Finally, I want to take one special moment to say thank you to Tom Preet. As he mentioned, as many of you know, this is his final time leading our full-time program. Tom, you've done wonders for Co-Platoon. In your time here, you've been vital to bringing Co-Platoon to where it is. I personally enjoyed working with you, learning a lot, so much from you over my time here. So again, thank you so much on behalf of CodePlatoon, on behalf of our students. Thank you for everything you've done for everyone here. So just want to make sure that you're definitely recognized for everything you've done here. So with that, I'll turn it over to you, Tom. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for the kind words. Just couldn't ask for a better organization and better colleagues, and even more importantly, better students. All right. With that, that concludes our graduation ceremony. With that, Papa Platoon dismissed.